Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Uyai Aniakan coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari under pressure to end fuel and Naira disasters. Supreme Court restores Ahmed Lawan, APC senatorial candidate Yobe North. Plus, world powers rush to offer Turkey, Syria aid over quake. Details of these stories and more in a moment. Thanks for joining us. First in the news this afternoon, President Muhammadu Buhari is reportedly under pressure to find a lasting solution to the fuel and currency scarcity crisis, which have subjected Nigerians to untold hardship. Nigerians, including senators, governors, and youths in social media, are insisting that the president urgently resolve the new Naira notes crisis, which sparked violent riots in Edo and other parts of the country. Recall that Buhari had appealed to Nigerians for a 7-day period to solve the crisis brought about by the Naira swap policy. Still on the Naira crisis, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has said that the Federal Parliament will have no option but to reconvene before the Presidential and National Assembly elections on February 25th if the Central Bank of Nigeria fails to address the hardships Nigerians are facing over the currency swap policy. Gbajabiamila, in a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Lanre Lasisi, noted that the House will continue to closely monitor the CBN's implementation of the policy following the Green Chamber's meeting with Governor of Central Bank Godwin Emefiele on the issue. Recall that Emefiele had appeared before the House last week over the crisis caused by the redesign of some Naira notes and the exchange of old Naira notes with new ones by the populace. Away from that, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has said that the federal government is currently working to create fiscal incentives to encourage private sector investment in education. The minister said the recent increase in attacks on educational institutions had made it imperative that the federal government prepares a holistic national plan with inputs from state and key relevant sectors to create a safe learning environment in the country. Ahmed noted that since President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Safe Schools Declaration in December 2019, her ministry had been proactive in staging stakeholder engagement and financing safe schools and creating safe learning environments. In a separate development, telecommunication consumers under the aegis of the National Association of Telecoms Subscribers, NATCOMS, have dragged the federal government to court over its plan to implement a 5% excise duty on telecom services. According to the national president, NATCOMS, Adeolu Ogunbanjo, the suit is against the imposition and implementation of excise duty and value-added tax on the telecom services. He stated that the suit was filed at the Federal High Court, Ikoyi. Moving now to judiciary, where the Supreme Court today restored the Senate President Ahmed Lawan as the senatorial candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC for Yobe North Senatorial District. The Apex Court, in the majority judgment, voided and set aside the judgments of the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal, which affirmed Bashir Machina as the APC candidate, having won the May 28, 2022 senatorial primaries. According to reports, the ground of voiding the two earlier judgments by the Supreme Court's new judgment was that Bashir Sharif Machina adopted originating summons to invoke his case at the Federal High Court. Meanwhile, Justice Sentus Nweze, who delivered the majority judgment of the Apex Court, held that Bashir Machina ought to commence his case at the Federal High Court with writ of summons in view of grievous allegations in his suit against the defendants. In education, the new Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Yaushe Ahmed, has cautioned corps members to avoid political arguments before, during and after the February 25th and March 11 elections. Ahmed, who cautioned the corps members against showing political bias, also advised them not to embark on unauthorized journeys that could undermine their security. The new DG said corps members who will be engaged by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as ad hoc workers should remain unbiased electoral officers in line with the provision of the amended 2022 electoral laws. He stressed that his administration will continue to ensure that corps members enjoy improved welfare and security. On petroleum matters, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has denied plans to cease operations once the government enforces 195 naira per litre pump price. A statement today by National Operations Controller Mike Osatuyi advised the public to ignore the information. Osatuyi hinted that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited NNPCL is preparing the logistics to start the supply of petrol to IPMAN members directly. Recall that Mujid Adesokwe, publicity officer of Ibadan Depot, on February 3rd called for the shutdown of IPMAN filling stations over the fuel price limit. Away from that, Nigerian banks today denied allegations of feeling the scarcity of the redesigned Naira notes across the country. The Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of Banks, ACAMB, empathized with the public on the hardships consequent upon the rollout of the new notes and reviewed cashless policy. The President, Rashid Bolarinwa, in a statement said the banks cannot be the clog in the wheel of progress when they had already invested about 100 billion naira in the system. Bolarinwa said the fund was used in setting up and maintaining cutting-edge electronic channels in recent years as part of the ongoing commitment to seamless customer experience and real-time digital financial transactions. In another development, the governments of Kaduna, Kogi and Zamfara have dragged the federal government before the Supreme Court, seeking a restraining order to stop the full implementation of the Naira redesign policy. In a motion ex parte filed on the behalf by the lawyer Abdul Karim Mustafa Hassan, the three northern states are urging the Apex Court to grant them an interim injunction, stopping the federal government either by itself or acting through the CBN, the commercial banks and its agents from carrying out its plan of ending the time frame within which the now older versions of the 200, 500 and 1,000 denominations of the Naira may no longer be legal tender on February 10, 2023. The plaintiffs in the suits are the three Attorney General and Commissioners of Justice of the three states, while the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami's son is the sole respondent. The plaintiffs further maintained that the 10-day extension by the federal government is still insufficient to address the challenges bedeviling the policy. Back here, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has conducted the mock accreditation exercise ahead of the general elections in Akwa Ibom State. The exercise, which was conducted in 6 local government areas of the state with 2 polling units in each local government area, witnessed low turnout. Accredited voters at the polling unit said that the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAs) works perfectly, and that with the use of the BVAs, the 2023 elections will be free and fair.
From what I've been told through this exercise, is good. And most importantly is that I learned it can work online and offline. So if that is the case, it means even where we don't have network, beavers can still facilitate the voting. So I think it's okay. I think INEC is doing everything possible to wipe away rigging in elections. And I think the Nigerian citizens are equally well sensitized that it's going to be one man, one vote. The most important thing is you have your voter's card. When you have your voter's card, you approach the desk in charge of the accreditation and you exercise your voting without any problem.
Well, it is my first opportunity of seeing the working of the beavers. We've heard so much about it, and there's been plenty of controversy. But from what I've seen in this mock exercise, I can see that the beavers works very well. It captures within 45 seconds, not even up to for 1 minute. And it has two modes of capturing, either using the fingerprints or using the facial recognition. In each situation, the process is very fast. So I think I am convinced with what I have seen here that the election is going to be as good as we wanted it to be. Please, Nigerians, I am begging so that we don't cause unnecessary chaos.
They called on all eligible voters to come out in their numbers and exercise their franchise come February 25th and March 11th.
Many people have been moved to, well, we call it migration, to new polling units, which are just immediately proximate to their former polling units, to decongest them. It makes no difference. So we're going to, again, very extensively keep the public properly informed. So people don't feel, oh, I've been moved away from my polling unit or some political parties behind this and all that. No. Some units now have too many voters. So that such polling units, that we call them PUs, can become unmanageable. And happily, we've created some new additional polling units within the state. Over 1,000 were created. So as a result of that, some voters have now migrated, as it were, have been moved from their former polling units to polling units which are immediately proximate to those polling. No, they're just the same place, location, virtually. So we're going to spend, between now and the election, we're going to extensively sort of keep the public properly informed about this. So they know there's no problem, no one is behind it, you know. It's just to make the polling units more manageable.
According to INEC Akwa Ibom State Chapter, 10 additional polling units have been created and some voters have to be transferred to those units. They promise to educate the public on the development before the 2023 general elections. In Africa, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has asked his deputy David Mabuza to remain in his position until the transition is finalized. Mabuza said he believed it was logical for him to give way to Paul Mashatile, who was elected in December as the ruling ANC party's deputy president. Mashatile is due to be sworn in as a member of parliament today. His entry to parliament will pave the way for the president to name him as the country's deputy president. Meanwhile, the president is due to deliver his State of the Nation address in Cape Town on Thursday. Still in Africa, a United Nations peacekeeper from South Africa has been killed and another wounded in an attack on their helicopter in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The United Nations mission in the country, MONUSCO, said the helicopter came under fire in the afternoon while heading to Goma, the capital of North Kivu province, where it managed to land. It said another peacekeeper was wounded in the attack. The South African National Defense Force, SANDF, in a statement also confirmed the attack. On the foreign scene, more than 300 people have been killed and nearly 2,000 others injured in Turkey and Syria after a powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake hit southern Turkey early today. The U.S. Geological Survey said that the quake is one of the strongest to hit the region in more than 100 years. Struck 23 kilometers east of Nogdadi, Guanstep province at a depth of 24.1 kilometers. Multiple strong aftershocks have been felt across the region, including Lebanon and Israel. Turkey's disaster agency has appealed for the help from the international community as it conducts search and rescue operations. In a related development, the European Union has mobilized search and rescue teams for Turkey after the stricken country requested EU assistance. According to EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell and EU Crisis Management Commissioner Janice Larentik, 10 urban search and rescue teams from various member states will support first responders on the ground. It added that the European Union's Copernicus satellite system has also been activated to provide emergency mapping services. Still to come in the news. Man City released statement amid threat of expulsion, points deduction. To stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. In business, Nigeria Employers Consultative Association (NECA) has predicted shutdown of small businesses if the lingering Naira crisis persists. The Director General NECA, Wale Oyerinde, said with the rising inflation and reduction in purchasing power of consumers, the nation could witness the death of many small and medium-scale businesses, as well as the shutdown of many large businesses. According to him, rising energy costs, inadequate foreign exchange, high operating costs, among others, was impacting businesses negatively. He lamented that Nigerians were grappling with limited availability of cash and scarcity of petrol. Oyerinde therefore urged the government to, as a matter of urgency, ensure the availability of the new Naira notes, prosecute saboteurs if necessary to ease the frustration of Nigerians and avert the impending breakdown of law and order. Still in business, despite investors' sentiment, trading and uncertainty surrounding the 2023 general elections, the anticipation for dividend payout and sectoral performance of the NGX Bank Index raised the stock market's capitalization by 1.08 trillion naira in January. The stock market in 2022 recorded foreign investors' apathy due to the scarcity of foreign exchange, double-digit inflation rate, and hike in the monetary policy rate to 16.5%. The market capitalization of all listed stock at the Nigerian exchange closed trading at 28.99 trillion naira on January 31st, 2023, an increase of 1.08 trillion naira from 27.91 trillion naira it closed for trading in 2022. The head, Capital Markets and Treasury, Ayotunde Alabi, said the anticipation for dividends payout and bargain hunting drove the market performance. He said most investors are trying to partake in the dividends that the companies are going to pay out during the first quarter. In health, the World Health Organization (WHO) has revealed that 700,000 persons died out of the 1.1 million new cancer cases recorded in Africa each year. WHO Regional Director for Africa, Dr. Mashindo Moeti, made the revelation in a statement marking this year's World Cancer Day themed "Close the Care Gap, Uniting Our Voices and Taking Action." She said Africa accounts for nearly 50% of the global childhood cancer burden. By 2050, with the current projections, explaining that childhood cancer incidence in sub-Saharan Africa was estimated at 55.3, considerable increase in cancer mortality to nearly 1 million deaths per year by 2030 without urgent and bold interventions. Still in health, the chairman Nigerian Cancer Society Ekiti State Branch, Dr. Abidemi Omonisi, has called on Nigerians to abstain from unhealthy lifestyles and practices that may make them susceptible to developing cancer. Omonisi, a consultant anatomic pathologist with Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, spoke in Ado Ekiti during the 2023 World Cancer Day with the theme Close the Care Gap. According to him, cancer is a major public health problem worldwide and one of the leading causes of death globally, noting that research reports stated that 1 in 5 people develop cancer during their lifetime and 1 in 8 men and 1 in 11 women die from the disease. He stressed that the global cancer burden could be reduced through healthy eating, physical activity, limiting or quitting alcohol, knowing about signs and symptoms of cancer and early detection, among others. In sports, Manchester City today released a statement reacting to the Premier League statement, which charged them with numerous breaches of financial rules. The champions face possible expulsion from the top flight or a points deduction. The club is alleged to have breached rules requiring provision in utmost good faith of accurate financial information that gives a true and fair view of the club's financial position. However, in a statement, the Etihad club expressed its surprise given the extensive engagement and vast amount of detailed materials that the EPL has been provided with. Still in sports, Aston Villa attacking midfielder Felipe Coutinho is set for a shock transfer move to Galatasaray. According to reports, Galatasaray are interested in signing Coutinho on loan from Aston Villa for the remainder of the season. The report added that Galatasaray are seeking an initial loan deal but may be open to negotiating a permanent agreement further down the line for Coutinho, as Aston Villa will be looking to recoup a part of the £17 million that they initially spent on the former Bayern Munich star in the summer. The former Barcelona and Liverpool star has been restricted to just 6 Premier League starts during the campaign. On entertainment news, Nigerian singer Tems yesterday won a Grammy Award, becoming the first female artist from the country to win the prestigious award. Her compatriot Burna Boy lost in the 2 categories in which he was nominated. Tems, whose real name is Temilade Okpeniyi, won the award in the Best Melodic Rap Performance category for her contribution to the hit song Wait For You, a collaboration with musicians Future and Drake. Tems is the first female Nigerian artist to win a Grammy Award. Meanwhile, pop queen Beyoncé has reigned supreme at the Grammys, breaking the all-time record for wins with her 32nd prize and 4th of the night to resounding applause. The 41-year-old entered the day with the most chances at Grammy Gold with 9, following the release of Renaissance, her rich, layered ode to club music. She surpassed the late classical conductor George Solti, who had 31 awards. Responding, Beyoncé thanked her family and paid special tribute to the queer community, who she credited with inventing the genre she celebrated in her historically layered record that pays homage to pioneers of funk, soul, rap, house, and disco. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. I am Uyai Anyeke. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. you.